is here.
Check it out.
And you're locked on to Utah's highest rated, most listened to sports radio station.
It's my station. It's my station.
This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hey, let's get it, folks. Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. It is a Monday, our busiest day of the week. And so we got so much to get to.
A ton.
So I've made a lot of jokes about Lubbock, and I prepared you for Lubbock. Did I undersell how bad of a town Lubbock is?
Outside of that that stadium and those fans,
Yeah.
it's miserable.
You really fly into a cotton field.
Yeah, you do. It's a cotton field. And by the way, all the cotton was full bloom. Every pod was popped. Big old billy, puffy parts of cotton all over the place.
Yeah.
And as far as the eye can see. And no lawns on houses.
Nope.
And subdivisions are different.
A lot of brown.
Yeah.
A lot of dirt.
Subdivisions are different. You're driving. We were just coming down one of the side roads by the stadium, and there were 3 or 4 different dogs that chased the car that you typically you would see like out in the country where we're from. You always got the car chasers, but there were dogs chasing the cars, and I was shocked. I'm like, this is kind of different. I'm just gonna say different, because I don't want to be offensive, but it was kind of a rough area.
Well, I was watching the little bit of the ESPN game day and the McAfee field goal where the guy is able to try to make a field goal and make some money. Usually that's been, when I've watched these before, it's been on some of the most pristine parts of campus.
Yeah.
Like they want it to look good because, you've got, this is your chance to really show off the campus. And the kid was kicking off of dirt.
Dirt. Yeah. It's, the parking structure we parked in, it was not good, man. Like the whole thing was tagged. All of the whole side was graffiti and tagged, and you're like, what in the heck? And garbage all over. And I saw more piles of vomit in this trip than I've ever seen in my life. 6 piles of vomit.
Vomit.
In different areas.
Just straight out vomit.
Yeah, in different areas. 6 piles of vomit. And you want me to tell you the worst part? I'm going to tell you the worst part.
Wow. Worse than the vomit.
I'm going to tell you the worst part because, and I apologize to anybody out there that's eating or driving around. This is the worst part. So there's a ramp that goes up to that sky bridge that walks you over the freeway.
Yeah.
And, I'm sitting there talking to Greg, Mitch, and Jake, and we're kind of getting ready for the broadcast. And so I'm zoned in on them, not where I'm walking. I step right into a big pile of dog poop. There's a pile of dog poop on the freaking ramp. And I didn't realize it. I did kind of look back and I was like, oh, did I step in it? No, I don't think I stepped in that. Well, when you get in the booth.
Oh, yeah.
You sit down and you're close to your shoe and the booth is tight.
Oh, man.
So I'm sitting there and I look at Jake Murphy, who's sitting next to me, and I'm like,
Jake.
I'm looking at him like, geez, Jake. And then I'm looking at Greg like, is that Greg?
And it's not Mitch.
I'm like, no, Mitch is cleanly. And so I'm like looking around and I turn my shoe sideways and it's just kicked on the bottom. I'm like, not to start the day. It was 8:00 in the morning.
A little foreshadowing.
So, yeah, it was, man. Poo
So
throughout.
fortunately, you had a backup pair of shoes, I'm assuming.
Did not have a backup pair of shoes, but what I did have is a restroom and a ton of paper towels. So I went in the restroom, pulled off the shoe, standing shoeless in there, wiping all this poo off the shoe, trying to spray it out of the sink. And it took me a good 5-6 minutes to where I could even sit with my shoe by me. But yeah, it was a little foreshadowing of what was to come. But I got to tell you, Scotty, how every trip has a story.
Oh yeah.
Every trip has a story, man. And Mitch makes me laugh. Greg makes me laugh. Jake makes me laugh. Those guys they're just funny. It's a goofy crew. Dude, we had a waitress quit on us right in the middle of the meal.
Was it because of something you guys did?
At Uncle Julio's. Honestly, like of all the times that we've been out together, I felt like it was the most benign.
Yeah.
But she was walking by and one of us asked for silverware with a napkin, and she was like, I just need you to bear with me. Can you just bear with me? And I was like, well, that was, we had chips and salsa and stuff.
Yeah, we're
and
good.
It was not a big ask. And then the table next to us that was all Texas Tech fans, they were like, corn tortillas. She's like, I've told you now 3 times the corn tortillas are cooking. And they're like, well, our fajitas are sitting here for the last 8 minutes. We need the tortillas, And she walked out. And then the next girl came over and threw on the apron and was like, okay, so where are we at with things?
Wow.
I've never had that before.
Wow. Quit mid-shift.
Quit right in mid-shift. And the other one came over. And it took a good hour to get the food out.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's one of our favorite places to go.
Did you break the thing and get it all over Greg again?
So we had to cancel the piñata, the chocolate piñata.
Because it was so late, or?
Yeah, because it took about an hour to get our food out, and we knew it would take another hour to get that chocolate piñata out. So, no, I didn't even get to club the piñata, which was even more of a downer.
Come on. My guy only has so many things that he looks forward to.
Clubbing the piñata, the chocolate piñata is a big one.
Yeah.
So, and it would have all been okay if BYU could have come out of Lubbock with the W.
Yeah.
And I did go back. I watched the full game this morning. A lot of it in slow motion. I've got a lot of thoughts.
Well. we're gonna have to save that story.
Oh, good one, Lloyd.
Yeah.
No, I was not.
Hands. Yeah.
Hey, look,
Hands broke the law, and the law won earlier today.
shout out to Eagle Mountain's finest. And I think it was Officer Carrero.
Oh, yeah?
I think.
Gina?
Not Gina Carrero or Carrera.
Yeah.
Is it Gina Carrera?
Yeah.
Carano?
Or is it Tia
Carrera.
Tia Carrera.
Yeah. Wayne's World.
Gina Carano
is
the fighter.
Yeah. And the actress that got canceled, and now she's back.
Yeah. Now she's back with a vengeance. To the Eagle Mountain's finest, and to you, Officer, I wish I could remember your name. I did look at your badge. Thank you for serving our city so well. And
not giving our guy a ticket?
No, and well, look, they didn't. They didn't. They thought I was drunk. But here's the thing. You're right. I should not be straddling the line.
Yeah. Shouldn't.
I'm just glad that they're pulling people over that they think are drunk, because I want them to get the drunk idiots off the road.
Yeah.
He
apparently he thought you were Officer Quavo, apparently.
Yeah. It was so funny because he hands me back the license and he goes, "Hey, you can understand like why I pulled you over, right?"
And your excuse was?
I said I was on the phone with my producer.
Yeah. He's like,
and I said, if you know anything about my producer,
you know Lloyd. And he's like,
don't you put that on me.
And he goes, and he said, yes.
He said,
go ahead.
Drive safe.
Drive safe.
And he said, I expect this from Lloyd, but not you.
He was awesome. Man, I do love our men and women that serve.
Oh, I do too.
I love you guys.
Yep.
Anybody out there that's listening that serves our cities in law enforcement, protects and serves, I really do love you. And by the way, I do the whole thing. I pull over. I put my hands on the steering wheel.
10 and 2?
Yeah, like I do the whole thing. I roll down the window, put the hands on the steering wheel, wait patiently. Like I don't mess around. Like they just want to get in, do their job, and get out.
Get out, yeah. They want it to be over as fast as you want it to be over.
Yep.
Yeah.
Make sure you get your windows rolled down. Make sure they can see you and what you're doing, and they'll get you out of there fast. They got me out of there fast.
All right, 12-16, Hans and Scotty. So, what went down in Lubbock? Let's talk about it. Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This is Hans and Scotty G.
Let's go.
The lineup is set, and it's time to kick off the show with the biggest topic of the day. This is the starting lineup on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Punt by Jack Burgess. Much better. It's a Moff down there, scrambled for the football, and an early turnover. Kingston retreated, lost the ball, and Hampton falls on it. So special teams miscues early for the Cougars. 6 offensive linemen, power, and walking in is Cameron Dickey. Texas Tech making a statement in front of the nation today. Bachmeyer flips to the end zone and touchdown. Catch made by Chase Roberts. It was a crisp 75-yard drive. Just finally avoid the shutout.
Well, it
Yikes.
wasn't much of a game. Although I really felt like that missed opportunity to kick that field goal to go up 3 scores. Well, I guess I would have put it to 16. And instead, Texas Tech goes for it. When BYU got that stop and kept it 13-0 at halftime, I thought, okay,
that was such a
there's
sweet
some momentum.
stop.
There's some momentum.
Yeah, it was a sweet stop, and I went back and diagnosed that play. That was man-to-man coverage with Siali Acera on a slant from the slot. And Falata Satawala sitting over the top of it, reads Morton's eyes, the quarterback's, and sees that he's pulling back to gun it, and steps up hard, too, and goes for the ball. So he went at the ball, not at the defender, and was able to tap the ball and get it out of the receiver's hands. It was a great play. Fantastic play. Good read and reaction by Raider Demooney,
Yes.
not Satawala.
Yeah.
Satawala on the 3rd down to push it to 4th down, Satawala covered in the flats.
Oh, okay.
And had that tackle on the sideline.
Yeah, that's right. That's
to
right.
push it to 4th down, which is a really tough angle and tough tackle. When a running back can see the pylon and he's starting to turn the corner, that's a really tough tackle to make. So great job by Satawala to force the 4th down, and a great job by Raider Demooney. But, you know, I could talk a lot about the defense, and I could talk a lot about the positive things I saw, because there were really good things defensively. But I think BYU fans, or sports fans in general, probably tuning in this morning or at noon to better understand what happened.
Yeah.
Right?
We've seen so many good things throughout the year. Why did it go south?
Okay. There's a few reasons. And I got to start with this because it was even more apparent as I went back and watched it again in slow motion. This is an amazing defense. They're really an amazing defense. And I'm starting to wonder how the heck Sam Leavitt and Arizona State and Riley Brown and these guys, I'm trying to wonder how they got to 26. You know, I think back to it. The 26 points came, there was a final touchdown drive with about minute 40 left. Sam Leavitt took possession. He went the length of the field, scored a game-winning final drive and touchdown with like 10 seconds left. You think to that's pretty amazing.
Against this defense.
Against this defense.
Yeah.
Now, he does have Tyson
That helps.
Jordan Tyson.
Jordan Tyson. Yeah.
So this is, okay, let me tell you why I get mixed up with that name. Because Ty Jordan is always on my mind.
Yeah.
Because I absolutely love that kid.
Yeah.
And then I always think, okay, don't call him Ty Jordan. Just call him Tyson, but it's Jordan Tyson.
Yeah.
One of the best receivers in the country. And so that makes a big difference. But watching that game made me even more impressed with what Arizona State did. One of the biggest reasons, and as I watched it, and you know, I've known Aaron Roderick for so many years, Scotty. And I also am not afraid to be critical of Aaron Roderick. I'm not. He would be critical of me because we know we both have the jobs that we've got to do. And I've seen him be critical, and I know he's got a critical eye. So I'm not afraid to be critical of Aaron Roderick if I felt like he was way off base with anything. The truth is, he had to keep 7 guys in to block. Texas Tech almost the entire day ran a 4-man rush. Problem is they've got 2 bookends that lead the country in sacks, in Romello Height and David Bailey. They're 2 of the best. He kept 7 in to block almost every passing down and passing play. And it just limits routes. It limits opportunities. I'm going to give you for instance. It was a 3rd and, I want to say 8, or maybe it was even a 3rd and 12. 3rd and 8, I think it was. And L.J. Martin stepped up and chipped hard on David Bailey. And L.J. had to get to the flats in order to be the check down.
Mm-hmm.
Well, by the time he got off the David Bailey chip, because David was getting so much penetration, he had pushed back into the backfield a little bit too far and didn't have a very good angle to get to the flats for the drop-off to go get the first. So I totally understand where Aaron Roderick's coming from. He could not just put Jota and Gentry. I mean, you can, but the outcome's not going to be great.
No.
You know, people say, well, what's the definition of insanity? Well, doing the wrong thing over and over. Well, he's watched 9 games, and he's seen David Bailey and Romello Height destroy any offensive tackle that's in front of him, and he's thinking, well, I'm not going to do that. So he ran a max protect formation, which kept Texas Tech sackless until the final, drive of the game. It was all the way deep into the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Before they finally got a sack. So his plan worked. The problem is it reduces routes, and Texas Tech was not showing the coverage that they showed against Arizona State, where Sam Leavitt was able to hit those crossers and hit those quick slants and hit all those stop routes. They were doing a much better job of protecting on those. Bear Bachmeier did have a couple of completions that were really nice. He had a 3rd and 12 and a nice completion to Cody Hagan, but again, it was very, very tough and tight coverage. He had a really nice completion to Chase Roberts in the first half that was a post, kind of down the seam, and he hit him deep, and it was nice, but again, coverage right there. So where did things fall apart? Pre-snap penalties were a problem in the first half. There were 2 false starts.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you added yardage to your 1st and 10 or your 2nd and 5, anytime you added yardage, the margins are too tight, and it takes you out of the drive.
Yeah, you're done.
You've seen that before.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
It's like you can't, against this defense, you can't add 5 yards on a down and distance. You're dead. Drive's done. And that was the case in a couple of drives where you false start, you get yourself in a 1st and 15, or you get yourself in a 2nd, and that would have been a 2nd and 4. You get yourself back into a 2nd and 9, and it just doesn't work that way. So that was killing drives. Drop passes.
Yeah.
So they're tough catches, but I'll give you a perfect for instance. So you're 2nd and I think you're 2nd and 9. You run a 5-yard stop route with Chase Roberts. Bear Bachmeier didn't throw it real well. They were showing soft coverage, so they backed off Chase. Chase stopped and dug at the 5-yard mark. Bear didn't throw a great ball, but it hit Chase in his hands kind of down and low. It would have been a 5-yard gain. He dropped it. So now, instead of 3rd and 3 or 3rd and 4, now you're 3rd and 9, and the drive's dead.
Yeah.
Like every play, you had to have some progression every play. So people are going to wonder why they went away from the interior runs with L.J. Martin. Because they were working in the first quarter. Remember, I said they had 45 yards rushing in the first quarter. They had 22 yards rushing the remainder of the game. A few things. Number one, Texas Tech started running 7-man boxes. So they were tightening their outside linebackers into almost head up the 2 BYU offensive tackles. They were taking their middle linebacker, walking them up at about 3 to 4 yard depth, and keeping their 4 downs. So the box was brutally stacked, and they tried running into it a couple of times, and you saw it. Stonewalled. Yeah. Dead. Tackle for a loss, no gains, and just getting hit in the backfield. So they tried to loosen up that 7-man box by hitting to the outsides. Problem is Texas Tech safeties, Cole Wisniewski and Brendan Jordan, their safeties are just too fast. So they were just flying up to those outside plays, whether it was fly sweeps or flip outs or tunnel screens. They were just flying out and making tackles on the outsides. So the speed really hurt you, their ability to get outside. And then you couldn't press back inside. And then kind of an adding factor, especially in the second half, it was the score.
Yeah. It limits you what you can do offensively.
Yeah, you got to move the ball.
Yeah. Yep.
And so you start going away from the methodical run because now you've got a quarter and 5 minutes to make up 19 points or, at whatever point it got to 26. before eventually 29.
I said this on the podcast when you see the box score, if you didn't see the final score, but if you were just looking at the box score and you saw that Bear Bachmeier attempted 38 passes, you're like, yeah, that's not good. That means they're playing catch up, and you're not going to play catch up against Texas Tech.
And they did. They about a quarter and a half, they were really trying to press and play catch up. The evolution of that game's really interesting. It's interesting, and I keep thinking to myself, for instance, if Will Farron just makes the field goal, like when did Will Farron start missing field goals?
I know.
I know it's around 50 yards, but if he just makes the field goal, you're down at that point by 7, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was 10-0.
Yeah, 10-3 at that point.
It would have been 10-3. And you're down a field goal, and at least you feel like there's production, and you get some first half points, and you're feeling a little bit better about things. You know, he misses the field goal, pulls it left. You know, and then you're thinking, okay, well, let's flip this field. There were a couple of different opportunities to go for it. One was a 4th and 3, and you decide to punt, and it's just a short punt. The first punt was completely shanked, almost straight out of bounds. So special teams was a complete meltdown. Offense was more stalled out because of what Texas Tech was doing defensively. I'm just going to give all the praise to Texas Tech and then some of what ended up it evolving into. But I could see what BYU was trying to do. Now, the question BYU fans has is, if they rematched, could the outcome be different? If they rematch, could the outcome be different? Yes, it could. It could. But this game is going to be won like Arizona State did it, 26-22. This game will be won by holding Texas Tech to 24 points and you getting 25.
Yeah.
That's the way you beat Texas Tech. No, they're so disciplined, you're not blowing them out. Mm-hmm. It's a really good team. Excellent team.
Bronco Mendenhall joins us next right here on The Zone.
Let's go! Complete game coverage of the Cougars is right here on the KSL Sports Zone. The Cougars return home for a battle against TCU. Your home for the best coverage of Cougar football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans Olsen, Scott Gerard, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Sounds like we got that from an 80s movie.
I was thinking about like a Nintendo game.
Yeah, I was trying to think where that one came from.
It sounded a little bit like a Contra game or something.
Yes.
Or a Punch-Out, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
When
it shows him running on the street.
Running,
yeah.
Big Mac's there trying to push him on the bicycle. Hey, Bronco Mendenhall and the Aggies put it on Nevada over the weekend. We're going to chat with Bronco coming up here in just a moment. But, yeah, they needed that. 41-0 at halftime. Ended up with a big victory. It's good to see those guys have a day like that, for sure.
51 points on Nevada. And that was a real encouraging game. You know, Boise State put 24 on them. New Mexico put 24 on them. Fresno State put 20 on them.
Yeah.
And Utah State went and put 51 on them.
Yeah, 41 at halftime.
Just to give you an idea, Penn State, to open up the season, put 46 on them.
Yeah.
So, you know, that season opened up with with Nevada at Penn State. Penn State mustered 46 on them. Yeah. So, really impressive.
Let's get to it. Time for our conversation with Bronco Mendenhall.
It's time to talk Utah State football with the head coach of the Aggies, Bronco Mendenhall, on 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
He is the head coach of the Utah State Aggies, Bronco Mendenhall, kind enough to join us as he does every Monday. And, Coach, I know that it's about the process, but and it's about the long-term development as these guys, as players and as human beings as well. But got to imagine the food tastes a little bit better. Everything is a little bit better after a big win like that.
Man, that's an understatement. Yeah, it was a really good win for our program. I think most had slotted that game, probably their coach and myself, as a game that's going to the end, maybe relatively low scoring as the rest of their games have been. Their defense playing strong, it being a 1 to 3 point outcome, difference at the end. And yet it didn't start like that, and it certainly didn't finish like that. So just lots of really positive things from an execution, mindset, energy, and a consistency standpoint from our team.
Well, Coach, the first thing that catches my eye, just coming from a trench perspective, giving up 0 sacks and Bryson Barnes nearly throwing for 400 yards. Talk about the offensive front. How much did that produce and help, and what did Bryson Barnes get out of that?
Yeah, just exactly what you said. The bye week after 8 weeks came at a really good time, and lots of opportunities to see what we were doing, how we were doing it, possible ways to do it better. And then a week of just, I thought, our best week of practice, not only from an energy but an intent and a desire to play the game and play it really at a high level. And those things came together where, as you mentioned, no sacks, which Bryson throws the ball really well, and when he has time, and can make those decisions necessary, then it leads to not only the yards, as you said, but also the points. And gosh, that's super effective, and especially we were much more effective on third down, which has kind of added to the consistency.
I was telling Hans yesterday on our podcast, I really felt like the play of the game wasn't necessarily the first touchdown, but was the 3rd and 8, because a lot of situations you've been stuck in 3rd and long, and to be able to convert one on a beautiful pass and an incredible catch by Brady Boyd and then turn that into a touchdown the next play, to me, that's where things really got working in your favor.
I just mentioned that in my press conference at noon. I thought one of the biggest plays of the entire game was the 3rd play of the game. After really not much success on 1st and 2nd down, Bryson is under pressure. He's being hit and throws it, and the beautiful pass, Brady Boyd goes up for it and converts the first 3rd down, which just there was something about that play that just kind of ignited the team. And, next player to play after, if I remember correctly, was a touchdown. Defense then is playing really well, and then it really just compounded from there. Offense, defense, field position from special teams, and really never look back after that stage of the game.
Brady Boyd with his first 100-yard plus game on the season. Just talk about Brady, his progression, how he's come along, and the role that he plays as a senior for this team. Yeah,
it's really cool because again, the transfer portal is a unique space, and there's plenty of things that are challenging about it, but there's also some great things that can happen with it. And so Brady, University of Minnesota and Texas Tech, neither of those two experiences ended up where he really had the experience that he needed, or the production and playing time, and comes here, and as a senior, how he's contributing the team first mentality, the complete buy-in and work ethic, his intent in that game, not only the production, but how he went about it was, it's just great for our team, and it's really good for him, that's an example of the portal working really well for not only a program such as ours, but also a young player.
Defense really was flying around, making plays, getting stops, getting off the field in 3rd down, forcing turnovers. What was it about the game plan and the execution that allowed you guys to be so successful there?
Again, the best week of practice we've had as a program since I've arrived. My messaging, again, there's 2 parts. It's not only what you do, which are the tactics and the techniques, but it's how you do it, and that's the mindset. We talked about culture a little bit either last week or the week before, and ultimately the teams I coach and would like to be a calling card is they just simply play harder, longer, and more violently and more physical, and that's just becomes their DNA. And the week of practice was the closest to that I'd seen in my time here in Logan. And then, but there's also kind of a sub-story. The defense held San Jose State, really explosive team, to 25 points. 24 scored on the defense in New Mexico, and now 14. There's an undercurrent of kind of just here comes our defensive unit, here comes our secondary, and here comes a group that's becoming more and more and more capable and reflective of what we all want them to be and who they're becoming, which I think is kind of a backstory.
So, Coach, catch me up on Matira Brown a little bit. I saw that in the second quarter he picks up an interception. I don't know a lot about him, so help me know more about him and that interception that he had.
Yeah, so Matira came to us from Snow College, and Matira has been playing inside linebacker for us, and with with the players we have at that position and some lack of depth at what we call our SAM position, or kind of the apex player, the field space player. Matira has played there some as well, and he's also played our will linebacker, kind of our boundary edge rush position. And so he's super versatile. He's really smart, and he's just a journeyman right now in giving us where it might not be a full 22, meaning a full two deep defensively. And most of the best defenses that I've coached, there's been about 14 players you could really call on, maybe one additional D lineman, maybe one extra backer, maybe a safety, maybe a corner. But rarely has it been a full 22. Matira has kind of given us the equivalent of someone that can be a primary backup at all four linebacker spots. And so super smart, big, fast, athletic, and just, really fun to be around.
Bronco Mendenhall right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. UNLV, defensively, they're giving up points, but that is as dynamic of an offense as you're going to face all year. What do you expect against the Rebels here in the early stages of your preparation?
Yeah, really just what you've mentioned. I've kind of been addressing that all day. So they lead the league in scoring, and they also lead the league in points allowed. And that's a really unique combination. So their games are explosive, where there's big plays and there's drives and there's points offensively, and then they're very capable defensively, and they're taking the ball away at a high level. And then just some inconsistencies, where you'll see some big plays against them. And so it really, man, you got to battle and reset and battle and reset and battle and reset and be ready to play 4 quarters of football. And it usually is pretty arrhythmic when you're watching them. And the swings are pretty large, and the emotional swings and the momentum pretty significant, just by the nature of what we said statistically of what they've shown so far in the season.
So, Bronco, to finish at UNLV, at Fresno State, Boise State at home. I know this is a gauntlet. It's the who's who of Mountain West Conference, and it's going to be tough. But let's start with this coming Saturday against UNLV. Kind of your thoughts in that game.
I really like the way it shapes up. I mean, it's Mountain West football, and you just mentioned the names and the brands of each school, but really I think everyone is so similar, including Utah State. And so different style of play versus UNLV, and we're on the road, right, when we haven't cracked that code yet. So we're all anxious, team, coaches, staff, players, everyone, anxious to be able to have what we just did translate and take it with us, and then do it again, and then finish at home. But what a cool opportunity for this program. And I think, we certainly haven't gotten ahead of ourselves, but I like the way it lines up for an amazing finish. And really, as a coach, you want to be playing or helping your players just have every game be meaningful all the way through November. And these kids have positioned themselves, and our staff has positioned ourselves for exactly that to happen. And so we're going to go after it.
Coach, appreciate your time as always.
Love
Thanks
it.
for joining us.
Love it. Go get them.
Okay, thanks a lot.
All right,
See y'all.
Coach.
Bye.
There he is, Bronco Mendenhall, head coach of Utah State, right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Big one.
So you lose at New Mexico, at Hawaii, at Vanderbilt, at Texas A&M. Man, you're right. I wish they could have split Hawaii and New Mexico.
Yep, that's it.
Just split that one. But you got 3 opportunities. And this team, it felt like and looked like they all clicked.
Oh, it was clicking. This was their best game of the season, no doubt. And I know, look, Nevada is 1-7. I get it. They're not good. But to be able to flex on them, they were coming off a bye week too. They're in the same situation. They had 2 weeks to prepare, and Utah State just jumped them quick, and it was over.
UNLV sits 7-2 right now. They just got a good win against Colorado State. They lost back-to-back games, Boise State and New Mexico. They had won 6 in a row before that. They started out the season 6-0 with wins over UCLA, Miami, Ohio, Air Force, Sam Houston, Wyoming, and Idaho State.
Yeah. Not necessarily the who's who there.
Nope. Boise State got them bad,
Yeah.
56-31. New Mexico beat them 40-35. They were at home in that game.
Look at their points allowed the last 3 games.
Yeah, 42-40, 56-51.
Yeah.
The last 4 games.
Yeah.
And you could go further. You could go 42-40, 56-51, 31-41. Sorry, 38. So 48-38. Yeah.
Over under on this one, 69.5.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there can be some points scored.
It's what?
69.5.
Ooh, jeez. That's big.
Yeah. All right, 12:50, Hans and Scotty. Remember, you'll hear Kalani Sitake coming up at 1:05. You'll hear Kyle Whittingham coming up at 2:05 as we continue to get you ready for another big weekend of college football right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Nobody gets you ready for Utah football more than the KSL Sports Zone.
Ready?
Kyle Whittingham and the Utes hit the road to Waco for a showdown against Baylor. Your home for the best coverage of Utah football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. You don't like this song?
Yeah, I like this song.
Oh, okay.
It's old school.
Yeah. Little Sawyer Brown. Let's go. Race is on. All right. By the way, what you may have missed right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone, Weber State just moments ago announced that they are releasing their head football coach, Mickey Mental, is no longer the coach. Brent Myers will serve as the interim coach for the remainder of the 2025 season.
That is a really tough deal.
Tim Crompton, athletic director at Weber State. We want to thank Coach Mental for his efforts and his passion he put into our program. We wish nothing but the best for him and his family in the future.
That's tough because they start 1-5 in conference play. They're 3-7 to this point, but they're on a 3-game losing streak. They've lost 5 of their last 6 games.
Yeah.
Losing to UC Davis, Sacramento State, Eastern Washington, Montana, and Montana State. So they're in a tough spot right now at 3-7. And then you go back and just look. Mickey Mental went 4-8 in 2024, 6-5 in 2023. And the really tough thing is he took over a team that was constantly winning the conference or in competition to win the conference and
in the playoffs
and pushing into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So if he was taking over an embattled program that has struggled, I could see them maybe letting him finish out the season and then see how the recruiting goes. But they've seen enough.
Yeah.
Weber State replacing their president too, because wasn't it?
Yeah.
Their president that
is
moved on to
now
Utah State.
Yeah.
How's he doing?
Actually, his first day is today. He's been around the university for the last week or so, and he's laid some groundwork. But his official start date is today at Utah State.
I'm pretty impressed by him.
I met him at halftime. He came up and hung out with us during halftime. Talked to him a little bit. Had him on the air. By the way, Brad, thanks for listening. He's like, hey, listen to you and Hans all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we got to mind our P's and Q's. We got a university president listening to us.
It's just another reason to tighten up.
Yeah.
You and I have tightened up.
We're not nearly as loose as we used to be.
We've really tightened
Lloyd's
up.
over there like, I don't know about that.
we don't get as crazy as we used to get. Because now we got presidents of universities that tune in from time to time.
I told you the other heavy hitter that listens to us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That one makes me clench up big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's in the 12-ish kind of thing?
Yeah. Some 12 guys.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say you need to tighten it up for him a little bit. I don't have to see him every week.
I don't know what you're talking about. All right. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It's another battle for the Aggies, and the KSL Sports Zone has it covered. The Aggies head south to Las Vegas for a Saturday afternoon showdown against UNLV. Your home for all the play-by-play coverage of Aggie football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans and Scotty, I know, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Hope you're all having a tremendous Monday.
Man, I'm having a great Monday because Utah is now back in action.
Yes.
So we get to see if they're who we think they are. Through the last couple of games, they've skyrocketed up with lots of expectations, and I think that they've got just the right test with Baylor. I think it's a good test for Baylor.
Kind of done with these double bye week or double buys. You get one bye.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Take one.
You don't need to.
So we get Utah back in action. BYU getting ready to wipe the stink off, and they get back in business against TCU. I'll start all that game prep coming up tomorrow. Get ready for that call. And Utah State has to figure out one win out of the three top teams in the Mountain West Conference right now.
Just got to get a W. All right, here's Kalani Sitake, his weekly conversation as the Cougars, coming off a tough loss, now have to regroup and find a way to pick up a win. Here's the head coach of the Cougars.
Yeah, on to the next game. Obviously, having time to reflect on the game and learn from the film against Texas Tech. Proud of how hard the guys played. Obviously, didn't do enough to put ourselves in a position to gain a victory, but I appreciate the effort and the willingness to be physical. So that was there, but way too many mistakes for us to be in a position to come back in that game and to put ourselves in a position to have a right to earn the victory. But a good opportunity for us to learn, and so we'll definitely learn from the game. I've said it before: to stay humble and stay hungry. And unfortunately, when you experience a loss like this, it makes it easier to be humble and hungry. And so we'll bank on that, and then we'll also bank on the opportunity that we can still learn from it, and we can still play better football. I just did feel like we played our best, and that was the worst timing. So that's my job as a head coach, to get these guys better, playing at their best, and I'll try to get that done this week. Looking forward to the matchup against TCU. Sonny Dykes a great coach. I've known him for a long time, and he and his wife Kate are awesome, great people, and amazing leaders. And so Sonny's done a great job with his program, and they're going to, I'm glad that we get to be at home. It seems like we haven't been at home for a while, so good to be home. But I know Sonny will have his team ready to roll, and it's not going to be easy. They have very it's a challenge, but I'm glad we get to be at home and get ready for that game Saturday night. But looking at what they do offensively, defensively, and special teams, they're tough, and they have tons of athleticism all over the place. They're a physical team too, and so this is going to be a battle. We have to take advantage of all the time that we have to prep for them, and looking forward to the matchup. And looking forward to bouncing back from this this bad taste that we have from the last game. But I say that Texas Tech did a great job. They're one of the best teams in the country, and we're looking forward to being better than we were last week and doing that against TCU. They have a great coaching staff too. You can see that Kendall Rouse has done a great job with the offense, and then Andy's done a great job. Andy Avalos done a great job with the defense, and the quarterback, we recognize him from before. We played against him, and he can get after you. He throws the ball. So thrown for almost 2,700 yards, and an effective runner, and he can hurt you in a lot of different ways, and he has weapons all over the place. And defensively, they get after you too, so they can make things really, really difficult for us. And we're gonna have to be at our best to earn the victory, and looking forward to improving from last week to this weekend. So what questions do you guys have for me?
Our first question will be from Mitch Harper.
Kalani, you brought up the film. I'm curious, just were there areas that you found as maybe positives in a game that was maybe otherwise a tough setback? Were there positives in that film review? And if so, what were they?
Yeah, there's a lot of positives. I mean, I probably can. Some of us that we're a physical team, and they brought the physicality to us, and I thought we responded the right way. We just didn't make enough plays, and I think they took advantage of the opportunities that they had. We didn't, So I think in all three phases, we wanted to play complementary football. They did it, we didn't. And then even when we had an opportunity after halftime to make a comeback and then try to find ways to get back in. It's why you can't. You have to start the game faster, and you have to start right from the beginning. And they were not going to let us come back from in that game. They've seen enough of that in the film, and so we when we tried to get momentum and try to get back in it just wasn't there. But I mentioned before, the effort was there. Our guys, they work hard. We just got to play smarter, and we got to play better in situation football. And they're a really good team, but there's things that we can do to help ourselves, and I don't think you can make up the difference in one play. But we got to find ways to put positive plays together. I thought we tackled well on defense, and for the most part made plays, got some stops, and we just if you're looking at the game, the average starting position did not go in our favor. We weren't able to flip the field ever, and it's a bad time to shank a punt. And we shanked a couple of them, and so that didn't help us in our field position. The turnovers didn't help us in a lot of different ways, and when it's all said and done, we normally do that to people. They don't usually do that to us, and we're 3-0 deficit of the turnover margin, and then they got after us. I thought at the beginning we had some really good things, stuff in the run, and then to muff punt, bad timing, all that stuff played into it, but. The guys kept believing, they kept fighting, and now we'll see if that belief can carry on to this next week. I believe the guys are embarrassed by that game, and I believe that they're gonna be coming in here ready to work today, and I bank on it. That's the type of guys that they are.
Next question from John Kuhn.
Kalani, you mentioned that you needed to get off to a faster start against Texas Tech, and looking back at a couple of previous games, it seems like the getting off to slow starts has been an issue for the offense. Do you feel like that's a matter of execution, or is there some other issue behind some of the slow starts that are recurring on offense?
Well, I mean, it's not all slow starts. I mean, there's some games that we did score first, so I think to generalize it like that on one game is not correct. I think as a team we need to start faster, and just you can put a lot of the attention on the offense, but we won games because of the offense too. We got one game because of special teams, and we won games because of defense. So we need all three phases to work well. That's my job. I think when it started, you don't have to score on every drive, but I think to start the game off, I think we punted and we shanked it. That's not a good way to start the game. And then defense got on the field and forced them in some negative yardage. And looking at it, I mean, we're in a good spot, and then we dropped the punt. And so that's so the fast start wasn't really anything of an issue. Not everybody scores on the first drive. You know what I mean? Sometimes that happens, but if you look at the start right from the beginning, the bad punt was an issue, and so that's not the offense's fault. Sometimes the offense, a good drive is punting the ball and flipping the field, so that didn't help us in our average starting position and field position, and then dropping the punt didn't help us either. And so that puts right then from that first series, first few minutes, we were put in a bad spot, and then. I mean, I think we're down 10-0, and they still had negative yards rushing. So then it was about the big plays that we gave up, and when it's all said and done, had a good stop, went into halftime and thought we were in a good position, forced a 3-and-out, a punt in the first drive of the second half, and you could see that we were gaining some momentum, and then it just kind of went to a stop, and those things are. I mean, you tell me, can we fix catches and drop passes, and can we fix better execution? Those are things that we're going to work on, and that'll get us. You can't have those lack of opportunities and missed assignments and mistakes against great teams and expect to be in it in the end. So we're very aware of what the deficiencies are, and then we just got to get to them. And I got to do a better job making sure that we play more sound at the beginning, and every play matters, especially when you talk about putting together stacking plays at the beginning of the game.
Next question from Jay Drew.
Yeah, Kalani, what was Bear's kind of mental makeup after the game, and how do you expect him to respond moving forward?
Yeah, he's going to respond the right way. I mean, he knows that it wasn't his best outing. It wasn't the best for our entire team. But I know one thing about him: he's willing to work. He has great work ethic, and he's going to be better next time. And so we're looking forward to seeing the improvement, and he's committed to doing that.
And I just wanted to ask you about Gennaro Guilford's work with the cornerbacks. I mean, if there was defense obviously played well enough for you guys to be in the game. What did you take away from their performance, specifically the secondary?
Well, I don't think they gave up at all. That's what I like, that they kept fighting through it. And we wanted to go to the very end and try to find ways to get it. In fact, in the end of the third quarter, we decided to punt the ball because we felt good about our defense getting out of the drive, and we wanted to pin them deep in the in the red zone. We've done it before, and we decided to punt it, pin them deep, hopefully get the field position flipped our way where we can make them punt out of their backed up and be in a position where we can have a shorter field for our offense, and then we shank another punt. And so that's not good. So it's hard when you're trying to execute things and things like that break down. And the sad thing is that Sammy hasn't done that all year. He hasn't shanked punts at all. And to have both of his shanks show up here in this game is unfortunate. But regardless, the defense kept playing, and those guys never gave up. And there's no finger pointing here. In fact, with all three phases, those guys know they got to work together. We'll circle the wagons. We understand what's being said outside. We never listened to it before, and if we did, now there's a time to not listen to it. So we'll circle the wagons, get back to work, and that's the remedy. Got to get back to work and figure this thing out. And we're still in a good position, though. I want them. These guys have worked really hard. We're in a really good spot where we can still control our destiny, and the destiny starts with this week, learning from the game over the weekend, and then getting it over with, and knowing that we got to go to work, and then seeing ourselves perform much better this weekend.
Next question from Jake Hatch.
Yeah, Kalani, how much concern do you have about special teams being a recurring issue? The muffs that Parker's had, some ill-advised returns, that type of stuff.
Yeah, there's all the things that we know we can do better. Yeah, so those are fixable though. We'll work on it and getting fixed. That just it's stuff that we can fix, guys. It's not like rocket science or anything. We just got to work more at it and be more efficient and try to find our guys to be in a more confident position to make those plays.
And it seemed in the first half you guys had more success running the football between the tackles. What changed there, in your opinion?
I don't know. I think maybe some missed assignments, and then I think it was Texas Tech's attempt to just not allow us to have any positive yards and try to take away the run game from us. And they were keen on that. Even the quarterback scrambling, they're positioned for that. And then when we had opportunities to make plays, it's like the missed catches, those were deadly. So all those plays, it's weird because in this position, you don't want to make a mountain out of a molehill, but you need to address the things that actually help turn the game against us. The mistakes. Otherwise, how are you supposed to improve? And so there's no hiding around it. Like I'm with you guys, I got to be positive about what we're doing, because it's not like the guys went out there and made mistakes on purpose, but they have to own up to it, and everybody's got to be held accountable for all the mistakes that were made, and that's for myself, the coaches, and the players.
Next question from Mitch Harper.
Kalani, 2 years ago, you faced Josh Hoover and TCU, and they had a pretty big day, and it was kind of like his breakout performance. Where do you think Josh Hoover's evolved since that, 2 years ago when you first faced him to now getting ready for Saturday?
Yeah, he's even more deadlier. Now he has more experience, and he's got he understands the offense. You see him making checks. He's just a veteran now. Back then, we were hoping that maybe him being new to the scene and inexperience would be in our advantage, and it wasn't. So now he's a much better quarterback, and you see in the way he distributes the ball to all different receivers, the way that they run the ball, the way that he reads RPOs, and I mean, he's a really good quarterback, coached really well. And so this isn't going to be easy, but that didn't go well for us a couple of years ago, and we remember that. So we're going to have to find ways to be better than we were against him the first time around, and we get to have him at home, which is going to be helpful for us.
Does TCU's offense, and I ask this because you guys face a lot of different looks in the Big 12, but is there anyone that you faced already that they kind of remind you of offensively that you've seen this season?
Well, the thing is, they do things differently where they can run the ball if they want, and they can pass the ball every down if they want to. I think it's not like you're just going to go out there and impose your will on them. They have different ways to attack you, and they can throw the ball downfield. They can. He's an accurate thrower where he can thread the needle if he needs to. He doesn't need to make big time throws right away. He's an accurate arm. He can throw across the field, things like that. So. I think they're a complete offense where they can do a lot of different things. We have to be a complete defense and defend it all, and that's easier said than done. That's why teams that are coached by Sonny Dykes usually find ways to score a lot of points. And so, and when all the attention goes to the offense, you forget that their defense is effective too, and they can get after you too. And then, they're a well coached team, man. The coaches, I've known them for years, and those guys have amazing reputations. And there's a reason why those guys played for a national championship a couple of years ago.
There you go. The head coach of the Cougars, Kalani Sitake. He, let's just say the shank punts are very much on his mind.
He was not happy about those.
He referenced that many, many, many times.
Special teams really let him down. Really let him down. Muff punt, missed field goal, shank punts, fielding kickoff.
That was a head scratcher too.
Well, I was talking with somebody trying to better understand it. He thought maybe there was some confusion because it hit at the 5. He was standing inside the goal. It hit at the 5. He ran out of the goal to pick it up off the bounce. And so maybe there was some confusion that if it went into the end zone, did he have to field? I don't know. I'm not sure why he picked that up and ran it out. Yeah. But cost him quite a few yards. It felt like it was one thing after the other. But like Kalani said, you got everything out in front of you. 3 games left. 2 of them are at home, which is nice, TCU and UCF.
Oh, yeah.
One of them is going to be a road challenge, Cincinnati. I do feel like Utah put the blueprint out there a little bit on how you beat Cincinnati. So I'm sure Jay Hill will go back and look at how Utah completely dismantled and destroyed Cincinnati on a game day, 45-14, and try to replicate that. I've got a lot of people going at me on social media, not in a bad way, just saying, BYU's falling apart. BYU doesn't have what it takes. Aaron Roderick was a misstep.
Oh,
there are people that are kind of coming apart at the seams. And I know BYU fans now are getting used to these big buildups and these big moments and BYU not meeting the moment. Well, but they do. That's what in an 8-game streak or a 9-game win streak, they've answered the bell.
Yeah.
3 or 4 times. When BYU was meeting up with the University of Utah and they found a way to beat Utah, they answered the bell.
And
when BYU headed to Ames, Iowa to take on Iowa State, everybody, Vegas, everybody had Iowa State favored.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, this is going to be a really difficult game, especially when they lose L.J. Martin. They figured it out. They answered the bell. So, that was a really big moment on Saturday. And, their offense didn't show up. Their special teams didn't show up. But I've seen this team now too many times show up and answer it to say, they don't have the ability, or Aaron Roderick didn't know what to do in those moments. That's all BS. That's just negativity creeping in. That's all that self-doubt. And that's what fans are supposed to do. As an analyst, I got to sit back and look at it and say, okay, well, what did they do and what can they do? And as an analyst, I'm like, no, they've got all the tools. They just have to put it in place. You can't have 3 turnovers.
No. Can't be shinking punts.
If you have an 0-3 turnover margin against TCU, you'll lose that game too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep.
Let alone it being Texas Tech. It's an 0-3 turnover margin. And there was a 4th down stop there in the 4th quarter too. where Chase Ryan or Carson Ryan, it was dumped down to Carson Ryan. He just couldn't get there on the fourth down. So there were multiple problems that I think that they can get squared away. Plus, I saw 2 interceptions that BYU typically pulls out of the air, and they dropped.
Yeah.
Therian Alexander had it in his hands. And if he'd have came down with it, there was quite a bit of green. I think he would have got to Texas Tech's probably 40, 35 or 40. So those kinds of things drive you crazy.
Yeah. Hans and Scotty right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It's time to saddle up and talk about the winners and the losers. This is the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, here's the good.
It is your good, it is your bad, it is your ugly right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. The good, all right, Rob Gronkowski will sign a ceremonial one-day contract with the New England Patriots so that he can retire a Patriot for life. Okay, that's, fine, whatever. But the reason he's doing it, because apparently he and Tom Brady and the organization kind of got sideways there at the end when both of them ended up playing for Tampa Bay and winning a title. But he wanted to finish his career with the Patriots, not because of Robert Kraft, not because of his Patriot legacy, but because one of his close friends recently passed from cancer. Susan Hurley, who's a philanthropist there in Boston, she and Gronk apparently got very close in a lot of charity opportunities they had. In fact, he donated $1.8 million to a new playground in Boston because it was inspired by her. On that day, as she knew she was going to pass from cancer in the next couple months, she said, "Can you just give me one more wish and just sign for a day so that you can retire as a Patriot?" Diehard Patriot fan. So she passed a few weeks ago, and he decided, and he and Robert Kraft got together and mended some fences and said, all right, fine, let's put bygones aside. This is what she wanted. So he will sign a one-day contract to retire as a Patriot.
Can you believe it's been 4 years since he was on the field?
It blows me away.
Yeah, it goes so fast. 21 was his final season. 20 was their Super Bowl season, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 20 was their Super Bowl season, and 21 was his final season. It just goes so fast. I would have thought that they potentially mended fences when they all got on the stage for the Tom Brady roast. That was the first time I think that all of them had been together. Belichick, Kraft, Brady, Gronk, and a bunch of the other guys.
Maybe at first, and then by the end of the night, they were like, okay, we don't like each other anymore.
Well, it was as violent. Well, I think it was so violent that they had to come together. Like
maybe so, yeah.
It was so hard on each of them that they had to come together. I am surprised that there weren't more Robert Kraft massage parlor stuff.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the no-nos because, Tom Brady's kids were supposed to be a no-no. His marriage was kind of supposed to be a no-no.
Everybody blew right past that.
Yeah. The best joke of the night was Tom Brady has 7 rings. Well, 8 now that his wife gave hers back. Like there were some shots.
We've talked about this. What was your number if you had all those comedians that are out for blood and they said we're going to do a Hans Olsen roast and it's going to be televised everywhere? Your kids' friends will see it. Your kids will see it, and they will go after everything.
It's just so filthy. I don't think I could do it.
Like if somebody gave
so
you
filthy,
like $2 million so you could retire tomorrow. You give it to Ethan, and Ethan will have it all well planned out, and you're good to go. And you can go to a compound in the middle of nowhere, Idaho, and or Millville, and not have to talk to anybody. But it'll be out there.
That stuff replays every day.
Oh yeah, it'll be available.
I don't think I could do it.
Really? No number, huh?
I just don't think I could do it. I'm afraid of what it would do to my mom and dad.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of what it would do to my wife. I'm really afraid of what it would do to my kids. My kids have to go to school, and their friends are all watching the memes, and they're seeing the replay. I'm just saying, if I was as big as Tom Brady,
yeah,
and it wasn't money for Tom. Tom doesn't need money.
No.
Although I'm sure Netflix paid him whatever he wanted.
He got a lot of money, but I'm sure 10 minutes in, he was like, whatever they paid, they should have doubled. We should have doubled it.
Yeah, he started to get a little toasted within the first 8 minutes, but there were a couple of times where he barked at the person and was like, "Don't say that again."
That was wasn't it Jeff Ross that he got after?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what really drew the line, it felt like was when they went after Kraft, but it didn't feel like he jumped up when it was about his wife and kids, did he? Seemed he got defensive about Kraft.
It was Robert Kraft.
It was Kraft that he got
said,
defensive.
"Don't say that again."
Everything else, it seemed like it was okay.
Like Giselle, fine. Kids, fine.
I'm sure afterwards.
Whoa, not the money guy.
I know. Kraft is where he drew the line. I was like, well, that's weird.
That thing was so harsh, and those guys were all together. They had to have come together and been like, man, we're all in the crosshairs.
Yeah.
So Gronk retiring a Patriot, it's the right thing for him to do.
The story itself is nice, but the reason I put it on the good is because it was a shout-out to a close friend that kind of helped him and mentor him in the world of philanthropy, and she passed away, and all she wanted, she's like, can you just retire a Patriot, please?
9 years a Patriot.
Wow.
2 years a Buccaneer.
All right. There's your good. Let's get to the bad.
Now the bad.
You're used to dealing with injuries and all kinds of issues throughout an NFL season, but you're never really expecting this. Denver Bronco linebacker Alex Singleton, who's been playing really well, underwent surgery on Friday for testicular cancer after being diagnosed last week during the before a game against the Raiders. Singleton said he shared the news with his teammates and coaches and then went public. Says, thankfully, we believe the cancer was caught early with a great prognosis for me and my family. While we are still awaiting some additional test results, I fully expect to return to the field in the coming weeks. But again, you worry about ACLs and MCLs and all this other stuff, but you get hit with a cancer scare in the middle of a season. That can really throw you for a loop.
It's wild. A lot of tough stories coming out of the NFL. You saw the Dallas Cowboy that passed away.
Yeah.
You've got this testicular cancer issue. Did they fire Brian Daboll today?
Yes. Just a couple hours ago. Yeah.
It's the NFL is just in a bad news cycle. Just a lot of tough stories and a lot of early firings, and it's just a bad news cycle.
And wasn't there, look, I'll admit, I'm an AFC West guy. I'm an AFC guy. I don't really pay much attention to a lot of the NFC, and I'm a little bit more honed in on my teams than I am the league. But it just kind of felt like there was some pretty good momentum there in New York. And I know they're not having a great season, but they're 2-8, but you got a good quarterback. You got some talent in play, and it seemed like there was some opportunities to really build on that. And they're like, nope. 10 games in, he's out.
Well, for a minute, I think Daboll thought that Jackson Dart was going to be his saving grace, and they lose to the 49ers and the Bears. And now that puts Jackson Dart, I believe, 1-4 as a starter. Wasn't his first start the win against the Eagles?
Yes, you are correct on that.
Yeah. So
and then
he's 1-4.
Won that game and then should have beaten Denver, but Denver had that crazy come from behind victory. And then you lose to Philly.
And then after Philly, during Philly, you lose Cam Scottaboo.
Yeah, that's true.
So then you go 49ers and Bears, and Daboll is out.
Jackson Dart has shown flashes of.
Oh yeah, no, he's going to be great.
Like that's why I'm with you. I'm surprised Daboll got axed.
Well, especially mid-season, too. It's like, wait a minute. Okay, you hit on your quarterback. Your quarterback's playing well. He's supposed to be a guru on that. And, I would say let him finish the season.
Am I wrong in saying that the Indianapolis Colts look like the best team right now?
Oh, my gosh. You're not wrong. Not at all. And I keep waiting for that to come apart, and they still just keep churning out the victories.
I do too. And I don't think it's going to pan out to anything because Daniel Jones is rough and tumble.
Come on, did you see him yesterday? He's a gamer. A bloody mouth.
He's a gamer in regular season, but it's like, has he ever won a postseason game?
Well, he was with the Giants, so no.
Has he even been to the postseason? Did he go to the postseason with the Giants?
I don't think so.
Feels like he always kind of just suffered down the stretch, but I feel like the Colts are a hot team right now. Who else is hot? Denver? Denver's a really hot team.
Yeah, I'm not buying it, though.
You don't you feel like it's a little hollow?
Oh, it's very hollow.
I've actually come over to his side on this.
Yeah, it's very hollow.
Where I thought they were probably Super Bowl bound.
I mean, they got a Super Bowl defense. There's no doubt.
Absolutely.
They got the best defense in the league, but their offense is really.
Let's look at their last 5 wins. Jets, losing record.
Yes.
Giants, losing record.
Yep.
Cowboys, losing record.
Yep.
Texans.
I don't know if Cowboys or not, but close.
I think the Cowboys are losing record. If you have that up.
Yeah, I'm pulling it. Oh,
I think the Cowboys are losing record.
I'm pretty sure they are.
After their loss.
Cowboy. Gosh dang it. This website's driving me nuts here. There we go. All right. Dallas is 3-5 and 1.
Texans.
Texans are 4-5.
Yeah, and Raiders. So
well,
they have not.
Do they have a winning record, Lloyd?
No, they do not.
They haven't beat a team with a winning record in 5 games.
Yeah.
How many of those games do they have to come back on?
A lot.
Well,
they should have beat the Colts though. They were on the road, and look, if they don't get called with a stupid leverage penalty,
wow,
they win that game.
They should be undefeated.
Yes. Oh yeah, both games. The Chargers came down. The Broncos, in their 2 losses, never trailed in the fourth quarter.
What you should say is if the Broncos would stop trying to leverage.
Yeah, watch the videos, watch the camera.
Video.
Hey, here's the good news. We get to figure out who the Broncos are next Sunday.
Yes. Yeah.
225 kick against the Kansas City Chiefs at Mile High. We get to see who they are.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to lie. I don't know who I'm rooting for.
Hey,
I'm not going to lie.
I really don't.
I really
How
don't.
can you look at your
I'm
brother?
really struggling. I'm in a bad place.
He's not going to root for a guy. Okay.
I am in a bad place.
All right, if you had to choose between me feeling good about my team or that dude feeling good about his team. Oh, come on.
I don't want either one of you to feel good about your team.
All right.
What's crazy is...
How about New England, 8-2?
Yeah, New England's coming along. We got to talk about their quarterback a little bit. But here's what's crazy. So after the Chiefs, you got the Commanders down on their luck.
Yeah,
Got the Raiders again down on their luck.
Yeah.
You got the Packers and Jags.
You'll probably go 1
1, 2, 3, 4. In that 5-game stretch, you should be 4-1.
Yeah.
Even Christian's calling you pessimistic right now.
This team is lining up.
He's just putting reverse juju out
to not just be in the postseason,
doing.
but to be a divisional winner.
Oh, yeah.
It'll come down to what happens with Kansas City.
And they still
Denver
have 2 games against Kansas City. They have to go to Arrowhead in December, which is never fun.
That's right. But Kansas City sits 5-4. It's not that they're the standard. The Chargers are kind of more in the race, but the Kansas City Chiefs right now, it's like, man, what would it be? It's kind of like, some of your top UFC champs calling up an old dog to see if they still got it. Kansas City still has it.
Oh, yeah. And look, Kansas City will probably limp into the playoffs and then go on a heater like they always do.
Yeah.
And be right there. I mean, it's just I think that's a team that's starting to get where they get a little bored of the regular season. And they're like, can we just get to the playoffs and we'll be fine. All right, 151, Whole World News coming up next right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Go! It's time to span the globe for the hard-hitting news you care about. Well, not really. But hey, at least we found it interesting. This is Whole World News on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
We've got the whole world in our hands.
You got the whole world in our hands. We've got the whole world.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. It is another edition of Whole World News.
So we got the news back on October 20th that Texas Tech is banning the throwing of tortillas by fans on kickoff.
Did you see any tortillas?
No, not a single tortilla. Tell me I don't even know anything about
it's been going
tortillas.
On. It's been going on forever. I don't know the origin of it, but it's been a tradition that they've done for a long, long time there.
Well, it was banned. I didn't see a single tortilla, and I don't I just didn't even know what the whole thing was. But what I saw was a ton of social media posts of BYU fans filming themselves grabbing tortillas out of their fridge and walking to the door and kicking the bag of tortillas out the door. Did you see all those videos?
I did not.
Yeah, BYU fans were posting it. They were just kicking their bags of tortillas out their doors. I don't know, some type of jointed effort to show disgust or disdain towards Texas Tech and their tortilla throwing. But, yep, it's done. It's gone. There were a couple of players that were asked about it on BYU side of the thing. They were like, no, we're kind of bummed that it was gone because I guess it was big tradition.
It's a long-standing student tradition. Originally, there's two theories. Nobody really knows for sure. This is according to Google, so take it with a grain of salt. One theory is that students originally tossed soda lids but switched to tortillas after concessions stopped providing lids back in 1989. So they were throwing their lids off of their sodas, and they're like, okay, well, we're going to ban that. And then so they took away the lids, and then people did tortillas instead. Another theory suggests that in 1992, an ESPN broadcaster joked that Lubbock had only two things going for it, football and tortillas, leading fans to embrace the tradition by bringing tortillas to games.
I'm sure they weren't soda lids. I'm sure they were beer lids.
Beer lids?
Yeah.
Beer caps? The Big 12 ended up fining Texas Tech $25,000. They threw tortillas on the field against the Jayhawks. And apparently Lance Leipold had a pretty heated exchange with McGuire because they continued throwing the tortillas past the opening kickoff. So
it's like you get one time to throw the tortillas. Now you got to stop.
Yeah, you're not supposed to throw it, I guess, past the kickoff. This is what Joey McGuire had to say. He said, I know the fan base will get behind this. I still believe the last game, it was loud as I've ever been a part of. The towels were really cool. They all did have the towels now. So is that a new thing?
That must be to replace the tortillas.
Because it was, make yourself a quesadilla. Everybody was twirling their towels. It looked like it had been a tradition for years.
Yeah.
But that's where they're at now.
Well, shoot. Sorry, Texas Tech. No tortillas for you. Are you a corn or flour?
Corn.
Really?
Yeah.
So if you got a fajita, you're going corn.
Corn. I feel like the corn accentuates the flavor of the meat better.
I would have taken you as a flour tortilla guy.
Just not a flour guy anymore. I'm all corn if I can get it.
Is that for health choices or for taste choices?
More for taste, but some for health.
All right. Interesting.
Not that there's a significant difference in the macro makeup of a corn to flour.
All right, so a tortilla chip, a fried chip, flour or corn?
Corn.
Okay. Yeah, I'm that way on corn.
Yep, still corn.
If I'm eating my fajitas, give me the flour.
Don't you feel like a corn tortilla, like if you're doing like a street taco or you're doing a...
I like them on...
I feel like corn really does let the meat talk more.
But I also, nothing I hate more than something that breaks apart, and it feels like corn breaks apart easier than flour.
Yeah, there's places that don't do good corn tortillas.
Yeah.
It's got to be a good corn tortilla.
Yeah.
The best corn tortilla is at that place that I nominated the best fajita in town.
Oh, yeah?
They do a fresh pressed corn tortilla. It doesn't break.
I need you to take you to this other place that has.
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
Yeah.
Do they have a good corn tortilla?
I never do corn. I've always done flour, so I'm not sure. My wife does corn. She likes them.
Well, I would come in and test the waters with their corn.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. I had to text Todd from El Matador, see if there are more corn or more flour tortillas there.
He's got great both.
Yeah.
Both are delicious.
Yeah.
His enchiladas, he sent me home with the...
oh, yeah. On your way to Provo.
The meat gauntlet gave me one enchilada of every meat. I think it was it 6 or was it 8?
No, I think it might have been 8, actually.
It might have been 8 because it was a couple different styles of chicken, a couple of different styles of beef, some ground beef, like two different styles of pork. I think it was 8.
Yeah.
It's good.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Let's go! Complete game coverage of the Cougars is right here on the KSL Sports Zone. The Cougars return home for a battle against TCU. Your home for the best coverage of Cougar football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans Olsen, Scott Gerard. Final hour of the program right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Remember, tomorrow we'll be at Sound Sleep Medical. Love chatting with those guys. And opportunity for you to nip that sleep apnea right in the bud.
Hey, have you seen any projections that Utah doesn't get into the Big 12 championship as the top two-loss team?
If they run the table.
So, like, if there was one one-loss team, if it was Texas Tech and everybody else was two-loss, or there was one-loss team and it was BYU and everybody else was two-loss, it feels like every projection I see is Utah running the table has Utah in the championship.
Yeah, I do believe, and again, I'll take we'll break it down a little bit more, but I believe Utah controls their own destiny.
So even if Texas Tech drops another one, now they've only got 2 games left, and I think is it UCF and West Virginia?
Yeah, and they'll spank those.
Let me make sure. I think it is. Yeah, UCF and West Virginia.
Yeah.
So home against UCF in 5 days.
Yeah.
And then on the road against West Virginia.
Yeah. 2-0, and they will be in the Big 12 championship.
And by the way, a bye week.
Yeah.
In between the UCF and West Virginia.
Yeah.
You get a bye week before the last game of the year, which is going to help them for the Big 12 championship week.
No, this lines up very nicely for them.
Get a bye week against West Virginia?
Yeah, so essentially 2 bye weeks.
They don't even have a coaching staff. Gosh dang, that worked out really well for Texas Tech. But I do feel like every projection I've seen, now Utah's got to beat the tar out of Baylor, Kansas State, and Kansas. I think they can do that.
Yeah.
The way they took out Colorado and then just snuffed Cincinnati.
Yeah.
They're hot. It's going to be such an incredible finish to the Big 12.
All right, so 2 blowout wins coming off a bye week. Could we get an all right today? Because, again, Kyle Whittingham starts every press conference with either okay or all right. Okay means he's kind of in a surly mood. All right, it's pretty good mood. Kyle's never in a great mood during the football season.
It's an okay. It's an okay day.
Think it's okay?
Yep.
He was all right for the first time last press conference, for the first time this year.
Yeah, I think he's going to be an okay.
You know what? I'll go all right. We'll go 50-50 on this one.
This might be one of the few that separates us.
Yeah. All right, let's get it. Here's Kyle Whittingham.
Okay. I know I need a haircut, but my mom said no more hats at press conferences, so here I am. I don't know why, but she had that directive. Okay, where are we at? Cincinnati game, I guess we touch on that a little bit. Once again, our guys played really well, particularly on offense. Defense, little too many yards total, but the bottom line is keeping points off the board, and our guys did a great job of that, 14 points, to a team who had been averaging much more than that. And so proud of the way the defense was able to do that. We did get 3 takeaways, although we gave one of them back on the same play, with the fumble. But it was good to see the defense create some takeaways. Offensively, we did turn it over once, which we can live with that. Ideal is 0, but I thought they were very efficient, ran the ball well, threw the ball well, were very balanced. So overall, a good game. Yeah, really good game. And like I said, I thought our guys played with a lot of passion, a lot of energy, a lot of physicality, and got the win. Bye week was productive. We pretty much followed the same exact format as we did in bye week number 1. So not much change there. We felt like that was a pretty good way to handle it, and so we repeated it. No reason to change a bunch. We'll be back on the field today in full pads, front load the week, just like we did again the last bye week, and taper down and be ready to go play Baylor on Saturday. Baylor's a very talented football team, I can tell you right now. They've got a lot of good players, a lot of athleticism, length, and they're they've had some good wins this year, some tough losses, but they're a quality football team. There's no doubt about it. Got to go to their place. Should be. Last time we were there, it was scorching hot. It should be 70 degrees, which is no problem. In fact, we might even get some rain, I guess, is what I understand. So we'll see how that shakes out. But got to have a great week of preparation, as always. And this team's playing with a lot of confidence right now, our team, and really have seemed to gain some momentum the last few weeks. So, questions?
Got Justin's question here. How are you going to implement more go routes in the offensive game plan this week against Baylor?
Yeah, that's been a topic pretty much all season, the deep balls and the chunk yardage. Just got to keep dialing them up, first of all. We got to call enough of a percentage of them that hopefully we can connect on some. But that is something that certainly is, we're aware of and has been a focal point to try to get a few more shots in there. But you got to do what you do best. Right now, we're running the ball really well, and so that's our bread and butter at this point. And but again, sure would help the offense to get some more chunk plays, to not have to have those 12, 14 play drives to get in the end zone.
And then Texas Tech, obviously, probably the favorite in the Big 12 now. How do you see the race for that number 2 spot to get in the Big 12 championship?
Yeah, could get interesting here as we go along. We're not really concerned with it. I mean, we're concerned with it, but we don't focus on it. We're still in the hunt mathematically, as a couple teams are got losses this past weekend. But we just got to keep doing our thing. We just know that we have to win this week. I mean, that's our bottom line. And if we are able to get a win on Saturday, then we stay in the hunt, and we'll see what happens with everybody else.
What have you seen from Layshawn Parker the last couple of weeks?
Well, first of all, we're giving him more opportunity, which is a good thing. He's had more carries. He's shown a lot of explosiveness. You talk about explosive throws, you also need explosive runs. That's another way to get explosive plays, and so he's given us several of those. He's a really good back, and he is really starting to hit his stride. As I mentioned, I think it was after the press conference, after the game Saturday, 2 Saturdays ago against Cincinnati, that he has really separated himself right now as running back one. He's the guy that is our lead back, and deservedly so.
Kyle, Baylor has the best passing offense in the Big 12.
Yeah, they do.
What is the big thing that you guys need to focus on this week? Limit Sawyer Robinson and that.
Yeah, got to try to make him uncomfortable. If he just sits back there and has all day to throw and can throw to those, they got 3 really productive receivers, a really productive tight end, catches everything. They also have a really good back. He was a 1,000-yard back last year, and he's closing in on 1,000 this year. So they've got weapons around him, and the offensive line is playing efficiently. So, yeah, he's number 1 thrower in the league as far as yards per game. I believe he's number 1 in the league in total offense per game. And he's got a good supporting cast. He does not run as much as the quarterbacks that we faced this year, but he likes to beat you from the pocket with his arm. And so we've got to find a way to not let him get comfortable back there and just go through his progression. We've got to speed things up.
Kyle, obviously with you guys going into the state of Texas, I know you guys have expanded recruiting into the South and then to Oklahoma and just other places with the conference realignment. Just kind of walk me through, you've talked about it a little in the past, just some of the negative recruiting that comes with being in Utah, and, with
yeah.
Kind of recruiting in different states now outside of your normal footprint that you guys have. Has that become more challenging given what some of the stereotypes there are in Utah?
I wouldn't say more challenging. I would just say more of the same. What we've dealt with for years. They say, oh, you're going to want a trip to Utah. You're going to, dirt roads and covered wagons, and each coach has 6 wives and all that stuff. And so yeah, we have come across this before, and it's something that is part of recruiting. You just got to, say, hey, come up here and take a visit and see what you think, decide for yourself. And I don't know if we've ever had a guy say, no, I'm not coming because of all the things I've heard about it. So it really doesn't have as much of an impact as I'm sure that people that are negative recruiting would like it to. But we've learned to deal with that through the years.
To piggyback off of that, bye weeks used to be really big for recruiting, with coaches going out. Is that still the case, or how has that changed the last few years?
Still the case. We do a good deal of recruiting on the bye weeks. The NCAA has scaled back how much you can be out. I think it's now 40 days, 40 total. So if you send 7 coaches out for 1 day, that's 7 days. One coach goes out for 4 days, that's 4 days. So 40 total opportunities. I think we only have a few left that we haven't utilized. And so, yes, we do it, but not as extensively as we have in the past because of the limitation.
And then with the bye week, obviously rest was the priority, as you mentioned, but how much of last week was about kind of resetting the mindset for this final stretch of the season?
Well, a great deal, and also focusing in on Baylor. We got a great start on our game plan for the next opponent, but yeah, we've had discussion, team meetings and where we're sitting, and but again, all we can do is take care of our part, and that's job one, and that starts with Baylor this week. But yeah, we feel like we're 7-2. Everyone would like to be 9-0. We're not, but we're still in the hunt, and we're playing some good football right now. And, I think we've had a couple good outings the last 2 outings.
I have a bit of a 2-part question. Your defense has allowed only 14 or so points a game scoring, which is the lowest since like 1960s or something like that.
Yeah.
On top of that, your pass defense has been pretty solid this year. What has accounted to that, and how does that really impact this team in what you've been able to do?
Well, we're playing well in the red zone, which keeps points off the board. So that's a big part of why we're only giving up 14.3 or 7, whatever the number is, and so that's a big deal. I think that the secondary has played really well this season. As you mentioned, we're top 2 or 3 in the league in pass defense, and so that's another big part of it. Is we're not allowing, you talk about us getting chunk plays, we're not allowing a bunch of chunk plays, which helps us. But Coach Scally and his staff doing a great job schematically. We've got a lot of good players on defense. There's no question about that. All 3 levels are really solid. And so, just if we got to keep it up for 3 more weeks, I guess. Yeah.
Kyle, Ryan Davis is by far and away the #1 receiver. I think he's got 24 more catches than anyone else. Do you expect defenses to try to take him away, which would open up opportunities for other guys? And then do you think we'll see more of Smith Snowden and Lander Barton on offense? I haven't seen a lot of them last few weeks.
Yeah, I think Lander played 20-something snaps on defense, or offense rather. Snowden's has slowed down with the emergence of Daniel Bray. He's doing a lot of things that Smith did or was going to do. And so Daniel has really allowed us to let Smith focus more just on defense. Jackson Benny has, showed up here and there on offense, and he'll continue to show up a little bit down the stretch here. But really, the answer to your question is, yeah, you'll see Lander continue to get some reps as a second tight end. You'll see Jackson Benny sprinkled in there, and you probably won't see much at all of Smith.
And do you expect our defense to take away Ryan Davis?
Oh, yeah. If they haven't by now, he's been catching balls since the first game. And so, he certainly has got the attention of opposing defenses, but they really haven't seemed to make a real concerted effort to bracket him or completely take him away. So we'll see. Coach Aranda's a really good defensive guy, and we'll see what they have in mind this week.
Kyle, the first college football playoff rankings came out last week where you guys are number 13. Obviously, there's been some movement. We'll find out more on Tuesday where you guys are. Given if you guys aren't able to make, the Big 12 championship game, how confident are you at a potential at-large college football playoff bid? And I know you're obviously focused on Baylor, but just kind of walk me through where your thinking is on that.
Our thinking is we're really focused on Baylor right now, and we just know that we don't have any margin for error. We understand that, and so I think it was a nice show of respect for our program from the committee to rank us where we were ranked. But again, we got to take things 1 week at a time, and that's exactly what we're doing this week. And not to, not have a better answer for you, but that's just how we're handling it.
What would you say is the kind of defining characteristic of this team so far?
I would say great leadership. We have tremendous captains this year. Not that we haven't in the past, but fortunately they've all been able to stay healthy and intact. That's a big part of it. And then not just the captains, but the upperclassmen. Because we had a couple of really disappointing games that we had to bounce back from, and I credit the leaders for really making that happen. And practice is as good as it's ever been here as far as the energy and the focus and the juice. And so, again, that's probably the number one thing that has really driven this team and helped us get 7 wins.
Kind of building off of that, the bye week last time, it was big for Devin to get healthy and a lot of the other guys. How is the health of Devin, Smith, and other guys that got kind of banged up during that Cincinnati game?
Good. We feel good about them, and we'll find out more today because they've had 1, 2, 3 days off, and so hopefully they're in a pretty good place today. So we'll find out more today. We won't tell anybody what they're doing, but you get to read the report. Wasn't it come out on Wednesdays? Yes. Yeah, Wednesday. Do you like that report, by the way? Is that something that's been a positive for you? Good. Yeah, okay.
He's so condescending.
What was that? What was that about?
Talking about the injury report.
Oh, jeez. He hates that report.
Oh, he hates it so much.
So that last question that was asked about the college football playoff rankings that come out tomorrow.
Yes.
I feel like it's going to be BYU and Utah back-to-back. BYU will be 11, Utah will be 12. BYU will be 12, Utah will be 13. I think that they're going to do it that way. Now, they could mess with the world and be like, no, we're going to slide Utah in front of them. We'll create some controversy and, it would heat this state up. It would throw BYU fans into a frenzy because we're a one-loss team and we beat them head-to-head. I can understand.
That's gasoline right there.
I can understand the argument, but Utah fans could be like, yeah, well, we just destroyed this team and we killed Cincinnati. And, it's not about what you did for me then. It's what you did for me lately. So, you can already hear the freakouts of both sides. I do think the committee is going to look at it and be like, it's a one-loss team. It was on the road to a number 8 ranked team. Yeah, we got to drop them, got to punish them. But how far are they going to punish them? Yeah. I think the number is going to be BYU 11, Utah 12. I think Utah will move up 1 spot in the bye week. BYU will fall 4 spots.
I wholly agree with you, but it also would not surprise me because every committee is different. Every committee thinks of things a little differently. I could see them being like, hey, but if they played right now, who would you take? And they call an odds maker like, all right, Utah, BYU right now, neutral site. Arlington, Texas, who wins? Well, we'd have Utah minus 3.5. They're like, all right.
Then put Utah up.
But yeah, I mean, it wouldn't. Look, I think the right thing to do would be what you say. That's what I would do if I was on that committee. However, I could see a committee. And let's be honest here. These people, they understand their job, but they're also understanding these aren't the final rankings. So, hey, let's
have a little fun.
Let's have a little fun with this.
Like what they did with Texas Tech and BYU. They 100%. Put them 7-8, and they were like, all right, go play for it.
Yeah.
And I could see them doing that with BYU and Utah because the world got a pretty good look at BYU-Utah in the rivalry game.
Yep.
You bring Noon, Big Noon comes out, everybody highlights how nasty it is. I could see the country being like, let's play with this a little bit.
Yeah.
Put Utah in front of them. Let's have a total freak out in Provo, and let's see what's going on. I still think they're going to put BYU just 1 spot ahead of Utah. And Utah fans, you can be all upset that you possibly can be. That's fine. I totally understand where you're coming from because BYU or Utah is playing really well right now. I will say, Scotty and I have a predictor machine, and what we did, we just ran the numbers. And what we did is ran the numbers as one-loss team, Texas Tech.
Yes.
They're not going to lose again.
Nope.
They got 2 games left, UCF and West Virginia. They're not going to lose again. So what we did is we did 5 2-loss teams. Utah, Arizona State, BYU, Houston, and Cincinnati. 5 2-loss teams. If you run it with 5 2-loss teams, the computers spit out Utah as the number 2 team in the conference based off of opponent win percentage, which sits at .5309 right now.
Yeah.
So they would edge out the other teams if it comes down to 5 or 4 or even 3 7-2 teams. Now, if there's 2 7-2 teams and there is a head-to-head predictor, then the head-to-head plays.
Yes.
So just for instance, I don't know if it's possible, but if there were only 2 2-loss teams, BYU and Utah,
it would be BYU.
BYU would be in.
Yeah. Head-to-head's your first tiebreaker.
Yep.
Then you get down to opponent winning percentage and all that other stuff. All right, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The wheel is loaded, and it's time to talk some sports. This is Sports Roulette with Hans and Scotty on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans Olsen, Scott Gerard, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Time for another edition of Sports Roulette. We take some of the big storylines, we put it on a roulette wheel, we spin it. Wherever that little ball lands is what we end up talking about. So, with that, Lloyd, fire it up.
Mammoth, cool off.
Well, I tell you what, the road swing for the Mammoth ended up with another loss yesterday, 4-2 to Ottawa. And
we knew this was going to be a tough road swing.
Yeah. And, boy, I was looking at some of the broadcasters were taking some footage outside the arena. It was snowing like crazy in Ottawa.
Mm-hmm.
We're really blessed with good weather right now.
Yeah, we are.
Please keep it going. I know everybody's like,
up north.
we need snow, but man.
Yeah, that long break they had, that might have cooled them off a little bit. That long break they had before that road trip.
Yeah.
Feels like it, huh?
It did. Yeah, because they were hot.
So speaking of being hot, that moment that Lloyd's talking about, the last 4-game road trip that they went on, they came back with 3 wins in that 4-game road trip. And I think that did change people's kind of thoughts and projections of the Mammoth. They put 7 goals on St. Louis. They put 6 goals on the Wild. They put 3 goals on Winnipeg.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that changed people's thoughts of this team. And now they're 1-5 in the last 6. 1-5 in the last 6 games. And the one that you got was a double overtime win. Now, that was a road game against Buffalo, Paterka's old team. I mean, I'm not – this is not changing how I feel about the Mammoth. Where we started was this is a playoff team. We don't know where they're positioned. Right now, being 1-5 doesn't feel like a playoff team, but they'll get it back together. They got Monday off. They'll get Tuesday off, and then – they're back in Delta Center against that same Buffalo team that they beat on the road. That'll be a nice little indicator. A couple days rest. Yeah. A Buffalo team that you beat at their place coming into Delta Center. Let's see what you got. And then they got New York, and the Islanders right now are 7-6-2. Good team.
It just shows you the swings that can go on throughout the course of a season because, last week when we talked to Bill Armstrong, it was like, wow, how great is this team? And then now it's like, hey, you got to get it going again, And so it's just the emotional whiplash of what you're dealing with as a fan of the Mammoth. It's significant.
Anybody that's been a Jazz fan or an NBA fan and you followed your NBA team and you're just getting a feel for this NHL thing, it's very similar.
Yeah.
It's just a very similar feel. Road swings are hard. Down times are hard. Good times are great. You start to figure some things out. And then teams figure you out, and then you got to refigure yourself out. You got to have your superstars continue to surface and play well, and that's what you call on the Mammoth floor right now. You just go back to your superstars, and you ask Nick Schmaltz, who was at one point he was leading the league in points. Go back to Schmaltz and say, hey, we just need you to surface. Clayton Keller, Logan Cooley, we need you guys to surface. Dylan Gunther, Sergachev. JJ Paterka. JJ, got to get more from you.
Let's go.
I see the frustration from the Mammoth fans. One thing I'm learning, NHL fans are much different than NBA fans.
That is 1,000% true.
Yeah. The social media posts you see kind of on the downside for your NHL team, it's quite a bit uglier.
Yeah.
NBA fans are a lot nicer.
Yeah.
Like, hey, shoot, guys, hope you figure it out. Mammoth fans are like, beep and beeper.
Burn it all down.
You better beep and beep it. or else you're going to beep it. And you're like, geez, man. These are 19, 21-year-olds here.
Yeah.
Skating around on ice, hitting a puck for $1 million. Like, I know they're getting paid a lot. But.
And for people who, like, Toronto's a really beautiful city. Why are you so angry? Come on.
Toronto's, could you imagine playing for them?
No. And there's a reason why there's a lot of free agents that try to leave there because they're like,
forget you guys.
I don't want a part of this. All right. One more, Lloyd. Spin it.
New coach needed in Ogden.
We mentioned this a little earlier in the show, but Mickey Mental in the noon hour, Weber State released the announcement that they are relieving him of his duties as head football coach at Weber State. So now the Wildcats will be looking for a new head coach to take over that program. Unfortunately, Mickey Mental unable to maintain the level in which Jay Hill had set there. The standard is high at Weber State, thanks to Jay Hill and what he was able to accomplish in a very lengthy tenure in Ogden. And so they'll try to get back. It'll be interesting to see what direction they go. By the way, Brent Myers has been named the interim head coach for the remainder of the season.
Boy, he was the assistant head coach. He's the longtime offensive line coach. Brent Myers has probably been there 15 years.
Yeah, long time.
He's 15 or 20 years. I've met Brent a few times. I think he's a capable man. He's a pretty capable man. So I don't, he's always been in line to be the head coach.
Kind of felt that way.
But I don't see them giving it to him.
No, and especially when they promoted within with Mickey Mental.
Yeah.
When Jay left and Mickey was the OC, they gave him the job. I don't think they're going to go that route again.
I don't think so either. Now it makes you wonder, what route do you go? Because the great college programs, Utah and BYU, it used to be Weber State could go to a Utah defensive coordinator, Jay Hill, and say, come get your head coaching experience. We'll pay you very close to what you were as a DC. Maybe you'll take a little bit of a pay cut, but you get to be the head man.
Yeah.
You get to get your head coaching experience. But now the disparity is so great.
Yeah, like I would love I think a perfect fit would be Colton Swan, and who was the linebacker coach at Weber State, and then became the linebacking coach at Utah. Not even the coordinator. So you're asking a position coach to be your head coach, and even then, you're asking him to probably take a massive pay cut.
See, I would go Colton Swan in a heartbeat, and I'd also call up Aaron Roderick and just say, "Where are you at with wanting to be a head coach?"
Yeah.
But the problem is, and I don't know what Aaron Roderick makes, I kind of have an idea of what Weber State pays. What, $275, $325?
I'd say they probably break $3, so maybe, $325 around there.
Right in that mark. I mean, knowing what I know about major college football OCs, they're at the $1 million mark.
Oh, yeah.
Or $1 million plus for the good ones.
And a good position coach is probably $500,000-$600,000.
Yeah. 5, 6, a lot of them in the 8s now. So Weber State has a different battle to fight because I could leave $100,000 on the table to take a step to the FCS level and be a head coach. If my goal was to be a major head coach, I can't leave $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 on the table.
No. Nope. By the way, Mickey Mental, base salary $215,000. Yeah, you're not getting.
I'm going off Jay Hill's numbers because I think Jay Hill was the highest paid.
Yes, in
FCS
the Big Sky.
coach
He was
before BYU hired him out.
And I knew he was at least the highest paid coach in the Big Sky, and he may have been in the country, but there was a good stretch there. He was the highest paid coach in the Big Sky Conference.
By the way, his defense played out, man. His defense balled out against Texas Tech. They played their butts off. And Kalani mentioned the field positioning. If BYU got a good effort just out of their special teams, if their special teams didn't give an extra possession, their special teams punted, flipped the field, their special teams fielded where they were supposed to field and hit field goals, if they just get the effort out of their special teams and BYU's defense played the way they played, now you're talking about more like a 24 instead of 29, like you're 20 to 24 to 7. Add a couple of touchdowns and you're right in it.
Right there. Yep. All right, we'll wrap this bad boy up next.
Is that overly optimistic?
No, not at all.
It's fair, isn't it?
Not at all. No.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Hans and Scotty, this is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Nobody gets you ready for Utah football more than the KSL Sports Zone.
Ready?
Kyle Whittingham and the Utes hit the road to Waco for a showdown against Baylor. Your home for the best coverage of Utah football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
By the way, Utah Jazz in action tonight as they will square off against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Ryan Smith just sent out this tweet about 10 minutes ago. How about the next 21 days at Delta Center, 8 Jazz games, 6 Mammoth games, 6 concerts or / events. 20 events in 21 days at Delta Center in the middle of a remodel as well.
That's why you got to have it downtown.
Yep.
That's the show, man. Those concerts, these games, that's the show. Well, I'm glad it's all downtown.
I am too. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.